Hello, everyone. Guess what? It's Drama Free Friday all day long. Hello, hello. Hi, Purple Nana. Hi, Becky. Guess who is here? I filled up my paint cart, getting all the stuff off my desk onto the paint cart. Forgot to leave a space for the teacup. Hello, Sherry. You want to come up here? All right, come on. Might as well get a little more cat hair on me. Right? Oh, Patricia, hello. So good to see you. It's good to see all of you. Yeah, you never know what he's saying. Crazy. He's a crazy boy. He's now going to help me cut out. Because you know how that goes, right? Can't do anything without help because you're not capable. Not capable of doing things without help, don't you know? I'm cutting out, I'll show you, we'll do some together, but I'm cutting out a stamp from Fun Foam. I'll explain to you why once we get going here. But I'm going to try to get this cut out with a cat on my lap while we just chit-chatter away for a minute. I'm sorry I wasn't here on Monday. I strongly suggest that you follow me on Instagram and or Twitter. Those are the two places that I tend to post things the most if something changes. And I forgot that I had a commitment on Monday, and so it wasn't on my calendar. Therefore, it wasn't in my head. And as my son says, and I didn't understand this for a long time, I do now. He says, if it's not on the calendar, it doesn't exist. Like, okay. You know, I didn't really function that way most of the time, but life has changed a little bit in that regard. So I have to kind of get stuff on my calendar now. Anyway, that's a quality problem to have. Chance is really helping me here. You're really helping me, aren't you? Huh? How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing well. Hi, Cheryl. It is good to see you in the chat, Patricia. Indeed. Any of you that have a cat in your life, Becky understands this, I'm sure. She has many cats in her life. They can be of so much help. Like, I end up having to do stuff up in the air just because he is constantly headbutting whatever it is I'm doing. I don't know what that is. It's like he doesn't care if it's a sharp object, like really sharp pointy scissors. He doesn't care at all. It's like, you're not going to hurt me because I'm your boy. You know, so he doesn't mind. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a good day. We're just waiting for people to kind of show up and join the group. It is gray here today, man. It is gray. I mean gray. You know what I mean? Oh man, it's gray here. Not raining today, or at least not now, but you know, when my mom lived with me, she used to get so affected by the weather, and I used to think that was so silly. Guess what? I hate to admit it, but sometimes the weather really affects my mood. Hi, Angie. No, you didn't. No, Sherry, you did not miss Monday because I was not here. So, yeah, I do try to date the live streams. You know, I got to tell you, true confession, I used to put so much time. This is before Clausman hit the skids. I used to put so much time into getting ready to stream, planning the stream. After the stream, I would write a blog post about it, and I would post it, and we'd send out social media posts. And I would take, I would spend hours completing whatever it was we'd worked on in the stream, and I would take, high resolution photos, and then they'd go through Photoshop, and then they'd get posted, and it was, every stream was just hours and hours and hours. And I would make sure that the streams were titled, and they were, I'd go back and I'd edit, not the stream, but I would edit all the information. And then things changed, and I thought, I can't do that now. I don't have it. I don't have the, maybe I'm just lazy. It could be that. Hi, Charlotte from Denmark. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Hey, Rhonda. Hi, Linda Patrick. It's rain in Oregon. Oh, don't you have a lot of rain there? Or am I just dreaming that? It seems like you have a lot of rain there, Linda. We go in spells here, where we get rain. But, I can stand the rain, but boy, it would be nice to have some really nice bright sunshine right about now. Ugh. We didn't have much. We had hardly any snow this winter. Although last Friday night, we had basically a blizzard. So that was, 2 days before the first day of spring? I don't know if that's the right day or not. But anyway, we had a blizzard. It was crazy how much blowing snow and everything. Of course, it was gone by in the morning, but it's crazy. That is crazy. Chance, if you could just not help me, it would be really good. I honestly don't need your help. He thinks I can't do this without him. Hello, Andrea. I don't even know I don't remember if I just said hello to you. I might have. Rhonda, it's good to see you in the chat. Thank you. Hi, Peggy. This is pretty much your last chance to mail cards to me for getting them to Lena. So I picked up a bunch at the post office box Wednesday. And so I will go again next week. I don't get there every day. So the post office guy is always real glad when I show up. The post office box is not that far away. I don't know why it's so hard to get my rear in gear some days. Well, probably because I've felt like crap for over a month. But I'm better. I am better. I am beginning to get hearing back in my ear, which is really a blessing with a giant B. A giant blessing, and I'm so grateful for that. I cannot even tell you how grateful I am. Still feels like I have a big wad of bubble gum in my ear, but it's getting better. So that is really huge. Really huge, you guys. Really, really huge. Anyway, yes, Chance is here with me today, and I know you're just so happy that he's here on my lap. He is on my lap. Let's see. It's gray and cold in Washington State. Yeah. Very rainy weather. You get 44 inches a year. Wow. The gala was good. Hi, Carla. The gala was a lot of fun. I spent about 1 billion hours getting ready for that silly thing. I have a couple pictures to show you. I didn't get, I asked for permission to show pictures and I didn't get a response. So I'm going to take a big chance. Hello, Gail. It was a lot of fun. Let's see. What did I do this week? Yeah, I was busy Monday night. Sunday, since I saw you last, let's see. The gala, Masquerade gala was on Saturday. So that took the rest of Friday. After I was done with you guys, it took the rest of Friday all day. And then Saturday I went to a women's conference for a while at our church, and so I did that, and then I came home and I finished getting ready for the gala, and then I had to get dressed for said gala, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Hi, Joan. Becky is a keyboard good. Hi, Nanette. So that was Saturday. Sunday, went to church. Monday, I was busy all day and all evening. Didn't get home until really late Monday night. And let's see. And just a lot of, I'm still doing a lot of sort of resting. That's crazy. What else did I do? I found my table. I found my table here. It was so bad, you guys. It was so bad. I had worked myself down into like this foot square area, and I was losing everything. You know, I was losing. It was right here. Everything was right here, but I had too much stuff, you know. Streaming twice a week, which I didn't have that excuse this past week, but streaming twice a week, stuff gets out of control so much faster. Yeah, so much faster. Anyway, okay, so Chance is here, and he is just being so helpful right now. So helpful. So I know you can hardly see him, but he's being incredibly helpful. Let's see if we can get him where you can see him a little bit more. Yes, so there he is. This is the latest batch of mail that I picked up. And so I was going to tell you who I got mail from so that you would I get in the picture a little bit better. That would help, except then you can't see Chance. Never mind. Well, it's all about Chance right now, so we'll let him be. We'll let him be here helping. So this is the latest batch of mail I picked up. These are cards that are to go to Lena in Denmark because she's not been feeling well. And although she is, I will say, I noticed on Instagram that she posted a bunch of pictures of her artwork on Instagram that I saw recently. And so I think those are current. I think they're current things that she's working on. At least that was my assumption. So I think she's, able to be creative again, which she is a talent beyond words. She's a talent beyond words. She lives in Denmark, and she is one of the few artists that I have seen, and she has not been doing, I think I'm right about this, I don't think she's been doing the level of art that she's doing right now. I think this is relatively new, and I'm telling you that she works in so many different mediums and such a wide variety of subject matter, and it's just, her art is incredible. So it is such a blessing to have her back, to just, Chance, I don't need your help, just to have her back creating again and posting again. It's so nice. Okay, hello, Cindy. Hey, Janice, good to see you. Hi, Joan. I don't know if I said hello to you. This is how bad it is. I can say hello and then forget if I just said hello to you. Anyway. Okay, so cards that I have received so that you will know if yours has not arrived. I'm going to read them off. I have not opened them. Okay. I guess I opened one. Anyway, I haven't opened them. I will open them before I repackage them and put them all together in one envelope to send to Lena. Okay. Hello, Fast Quilter. Sandy, right? Glad to see you in the chat. So anyway, I got cards from Mindy. And this, I need to show you. This beautiful card came from Journey. Okay, look at this. I just think that is amazing. Beautifully done. It's a postcard. This one doesn't have a complete address. I think this is probably from Janet Nash, although I'm not entirely sure. Okay, so if Janet Nash shows up, somebody might... I know it is awesome, isn't it, Joan? It really is. If Janet Nash shows up in the chat, I need to double check that with her. That is Janet from UK. Okay, good. Because she was worried about whether her card was going to get here or not. I thought it looked like one of her envelopes too. Ann Lar. This is from Peggy Diaz. This one, I don't know who this is from. I have not opened this, so I'm going to show it to you. And I don't mind showing you the address because that's a P.O. box, so, you know, no big deal. But this is the card. I don't know who this is from. So anybody that wants to tell me, just so you know, whoever sent this, it got here. From Linda and Tim, I got your card. From Esther Thompson, Sherry Van, sorry, I can't even speak. Shelley Allred, and this is from Rhonda. So Rhonda, I got your package. Okay, so those are. Can I talk to the people now? Do I have to keep talking? Do I have to keep you on camera, or is it okay if I talk to the people? He's sitting here just purring so quietly. He's very content. He thinks this is how that we should do the streams all the time. He should be just like this. And that should be the way that goes. That should be the way that goes. So those are all the cards, plus the ones that I told you guys about before. So we have a nice, it will be a nice package of, once I take them, unpackage them, and repackage them, we're going to have a nice envelope of fun things for Lena to open and know that we've been thinking about her. We've been thinking about her for over a month. And so I think that is really neat and very special. Hello, Dorothy. Good to see you. So if you have another week. This is the 24th. Yeah, you have another week to get things to me. Hi, Carol. Good to see you. I enjoyed seeing your stream this morning. Canadian Artisan is Carol, and she's been taking a break from streaming, and she was back on this morning, kind of a, what she called a surprise stream. And she was showing her stitching and working with... It went flitting out of my head. I'm trying to say pom-poms. It's not pom-poms. What was it, Carol? What was it? It's not pom-poms. It's a quilt. Completely left my head. Yo-yos, thank you. Sometimes you just want to go, really? Suffolk puff is another way. That's what they say in the UK, I believe. Suffolk puff. and Carol was using the clover yo-yo makers. I have a whole bunch of those, which they're great. They are great. Where did that word go? So anyway, it was good to see Carol. So if you haven't seen, words are so hard sometimes. You know, the English language just becomes very difficult from time to time. It seems to become more difficult once you pass the age of 60. Anyway, yeah, so I got all of the mail. So I will get that opened and ready to go. So I'm going to cut it off the end, like the 31st of March. Okay. Yeah, those clover yo-yo makers and the kanzashi flower makers that were all part of that line, those were so prevalent for so long, and then they all disappeared. So I don't know if Clover has gone out of business or if it just wasn't something that they continued with. I really don't know. I'm not in the know of those kinds of things. So anyway, okay. Hi, Mary. Your card's on the way? Okay, perfect. You have the butterfly heart and flower. Yeah, I have a bunch of the different flowers. You just bought a set? Okay, well, that's good. That's good to know. On Amazon. Okay, so if you want the clover yo-yo makers and so forth, check out Amazon and, check out the different sites, Etsy and eBay and things like that. I'm sure you'll find some of them. Okay, so you ready? Are you ready? So I thought that you would... I can't even do this with a straight face. I thought you guys would really like to see what we looked like at the gala when we went to the Masquerade gala. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Any of you that don't know what I'm talking about, there was a fundraiser masquerade. It was a fundraiser gala that I was invited to go to with the Studley Duck, or Mr. Studley if you prefer. And I costumed us because it was a masquerade. That was the theme. And I would say probably half the people were there in costume and the other half, it was just, not something they were willing to do, which I can kind of understand. You guys are ready? Okay. All right, drum roll. You got the last bag of cat food in the store? My goodness. Okay, here you go. See, I told you I couldn't even do it with a straight face. So at this fundraiser, they had, so this was my mask and this was his mask. He went I dressed him as the Beast and I went as Belle before she had been transformed into into her beautiful costume. Hey, CB. So what they had was this was a thought you guys would get a charge out of that. This was a book that they had with all of the different options for things. I mean, it was quite the fundraiser. I don't know how much they raised. I have no idea how much money. It's for a school for the kids, and so I don't know how much money they raised, but I think it was a handsome amount. So, all right. So I'm going to give you a bit of a shot. I don't really have permission to do this, so I'm taking a big fat chance when I do this. Trying to get this So remember, Belle had long hair and a bow in her hair, and she was very young. Thanks, Rhonda. I appreciate you keeping the secret. Yeah, and the Beast, I mean, he made a great Beast, I have to say. So I am a great deal older than Belle with short hair and the wrong color and so forth. But anyway, Andrea's going to tell. So that's as much as I can show you at this point. How about that? So anyway, there you go. Okay. Everybody got a big charge out of the fact everybody got a big charge out of the fact that the costume included its own bib. I said, well, it's either a bib or a Kleenex. I don't know which. It was just part of the costume. You know, we did the whole thing. It had the cummerbund, and it had the Beast, the pants that had the gold stripe down the side. They were black pants, very silky fabric. It was a whole thing. The costume for him was absolutely perfect. But the school fundraiser had to do with his people from his family. So I was trying to be sort of supporting cast. Supporting cast. Okay. So there you go. I just got a note, written confirmation that he didn't care what pictures I showed. So there you go. So it's kind of a relief, to tell you the truth. We did have a really good time. And it was so much fun to see what they did. They had some really, you never know what's going to be the premium things that people go crazy for bidding on. There was a jersey, you know, you guys that follow football, the Kansas City Chiefs were in the Super Bowl, and Kelsey, I'm barely literate to talk about this, but Kelsey, who was one of the big players for the Chiefs, they had a jersey there of his, and that jersey went for $12,000. $12,000. Hey, Barbara. Some people have more money than sense. I'm not one of those. $12,000. I was the belle of the ball, so to speak, Andrea, so to speak. I know, right? I knew you guys would enjoy that bit of information. One of the fun things they did was right at the end, they had paddles, you know, for people who were going to bid. And the table that was behind us had a father and a son at the table, and their respective families were at this table. They were right behind us. And the last thing that they did was every time you would raise your paddle, you would agree to pay $50. And so it took a little bit for it to get going, but once they got this whole thing going, at the end, the last person bidding would get $500 back. So it was funny to see the various people that were bidding against each other. And two of them that were bidding against each other were the father and the son, sitting at the same table. I have no idea how much they spent. I don't think they knew how much they spent. I mean, it was all for a good cause. It went for the school. It's a private school. And this private school has gone up from 200 and some students to 400 and some students in the last couple of years. And they're bulging at the seams and needing to add on to the school and, and so forth and so on. Anyway, it was just really fun to, good-natured fun to see them bidding against each other. And neither one of them won, were the last one. Somebody else was, and but I mean, it went for quite a while. They must have raised a lot of money in that. So, hi, Kate. So it was a lot of fun. Fun to watch. You're going to have to scroll back for the pics. Yep, you can. Yep, $12,000 for the jersey. $12,000. Mm-hmm. Yes. Anyway, so that was that on Saturday night. And I don't know what else has gone on. I have been back to the doctor yet again. For someone who never goes to the doctor, I have been to the doctor more times than I care to go. And my ear is better. Everything is on track to heal up. So that's a very good thing. Yeah. Okay. So let us take a look at what we're going to do. And I'm hoping that Chance is going to finally get tired of sitting on my lap. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's reality or not. But I'm hoping. You can see that he's still sitting here, right? Anyway. Okay. So let's take a look at the box, this crate. We started this last, you're going to kind of get a shot of my desk here. Started this last Friday, and it's just a wooden crate. It was something that I salvaged from somebody that was going to throw it away, and so I thought, yeah, I'll just bring it home. I stuck it in the garage, and it's just wood. It was raw wood. And I stuck it in the garage, didn't do anything with it until last week. And I was trying to figure out what I was going to do with you guys last Friday. And I thought, okay, well, we'll just grab this. And I bought this package of tissue paper, which I really liked. And so this is all small pieces of tissue that I put on with matte medium. So I've put it all over. I've covered the entire surface of the box, so that hopefully I'm going to avoid getting any warping of the wood. But you know what? If I warp the wood, it was going to the trash pile anyway. And so that's where we are at this point. So hopefully I have all the surfaces covered. And it's good and dry. The last bit of tissue paper I put on it yesterday, so it's good and dry. Chance, what do you think? What do you think? I expected to come in here one day and have him sitting in the middle of the box. Oh, there he's getting off. Good deal. I thought I would come in here and he would be planted in there because he is very good at that. And yeah, I have cat hair all over me. Excuse me while I try to get the cat hair off so that I don't start sneezing and carrying on. You know, anybody that has cats, I'm sure that you have multiple lint rollers. I buy these like 6 at a time. I have multiple lint rollers, and you carry them in your car. You have them all over the house. You have to roll yourself the very last second before you leave, or you have to have one in the car so you roll yourself before you get out. And Carol has husky fluff. Yeah, I heard you talking about that today. I thought, yeah, I know what that's like. I don't have huskies, but I do have Muppet, and Muppet has black hair that's about 1.5 inches long and wiry, coarse and wiry. So she doesn't have fluff, but my goodness, she can get rid of hair. Huh. Anyway, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this box, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do, and I'll tell you what my thought is, and we're going to see how it works out. Okay? So we're going to do is we're going to use this stencil, which I think this is the right, I'm not sure this is the right one. I think it is. I'm not positive. I think this is the right one. It's a Joggles. Maybe it's listed on here. Let's see. No, this isn't the right name. Okay, we'll scratch this because that's not the right name. This is the stencil that I'm going to use. It's from Joggles, and the number is 10-33755. So I don't remember what the name of this stencil is. But anyway, this is the stencil, and it comes with, one of the things I like about what they do is it comes with the masks. They are a part of the stencil, and so you can clip, they are attached by little bits of plastic, and you just carefully snip those, and then the mask comes out. And so you get double duty. You get a mask and you get a stencil. Okay? And I use these on the jelly plate, and I use these all different places. And I thought it would be fun to use these to add leaves, to start the process of adding leaves on this box. And the colors I'm going to use, they're all, you know, pretty similar. It's kind of a turquoise kind of color. And then I'll probably do some detailing using paint pens and so forth later. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Oh, Gail, he does watch every move I make. He is just, the cat is just such a, oh, he's a mess. Anyway, so first I thought, well, I'll use the stencil to give me the overall design. But this is going to get unwieldy really fast to try to place this on the box, you know, to put the color down. And so what I decided to do was to take the mask. Okay, so this is the mask. And I'm using Fun Foam, which this is the Fun Foam. The really thin stuff is what I'm using. It's actually thinner than what this is. It's about an 1/8 of an inch, or I don't know what that is in millimeters, but it's about an 1/8 of an inch in thickness. And so I'm using that. I'm going to draw around the masks and cut them out and make them into stamps. Okay. So I'm going to make them into stamps like this. They're very thin, very flimsy. And then we're going to use these to stamp on the box different places, just to get the impression of, you know, kind of the idea. And then I'm going to go back and probably paint in the places where the stamps are. Okay, that's the thought. Have I done this? No. So we're gonna go for it and see what happens. Okay. Now the stamps are these stencils. Once you turn it into a stamp, I can use both sides of it, except my hands are going to get messy real fast, and so I may want to do a second one going the other direction, or not. Probably not. But anyway, we're gonna just kind of go for it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make these masks into stamps. Okay. Hi, Signa. Good to see you. And I'm glad to see all of you here today. It's really good to have you here. Really good. All right, let's go through this, and I'm not going to do this entire thing, but I do want, yes, Chance. I'm just using an ink pen. This is just a nothing special ink pen. Now, would you have to have a stencil to do this? No. You could draw these all by yourself. You do not have to have this stencil to do it. or a mask. But it's just another way of using, getting more bang for your buck out of your stencils and not having to actually take the time to draw it. In other words, it's the lazy man's way of doing this. Now I'm going to give myself an extra bit of the stem at the end so that I have something extra to hold on to when I do this. Some of our trees are starting to bud out here, so we're starting to get some pollen floating around in the air. That's always good news. It's always good news around here. So if I erupt in a coughing fit every once in a while, you might just go, there she goes again. I don't usually have too much trouble with the pollen and stuff, but it may kind of get me a little bit this year. I don't know. Okay, so there's that one. So we have this one that I've done and this one, and we may do a little bit of this one also because the leaves are spaced apart a little differently. Hang on just a second. So I'm going to do this one because the leaves are just a little different in their placement and how many. Just the style is slightly different, so I thought we might do a little bit of this one too. Just because why not, Now, ordinarily when I work with these stamps like this, when I make stamps like this on the fun foam, I will back the skinny stamp after I cut it out. I'll back it. I didn't pull out a sample of this. I think I can put my hand on one here quickly once I draw this. Normally I back them with the 1/4 inch fun foam because it's easier to hang on to. I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. In this case, I want these because if I decide to go around a corner or something, I want this to be really super duper flexible. So that's why I'm gonna kind of mess around with it, and I don't care if they're perfect renditions of this mask. It's just saving me from having to draw them to begin with. Okay, so there's that. All right, hang on just a second and let me see if I can find what I'm talking about. This was actually a commercially produced one. That's one that I did. Okay, here's some other ones. So this was one that was from Hobby Lobby or someplace. This was one that I did. These are all ones that were stamps. They were Laurel Birch stamps that I increased the size. It would help if you could see what I was talking about. This one is the Hobby Lobby one, commercially produced one. This is one that I did. So this is the thin, super thin fun foam, and then I put it on the thick stuff. So it's very similar to what is commercially produced. These were Laurel Birch stamps that I just did the outlines of. I increased the size and then I stamped them on fabric. So I made the stamps and then I mounted them on the thicker fun foam. This was a class that I did for the VIP group, and then I painted them after I stamped them on the fabric. Then I painted them and did all the details and stuff. Okay, so this is not new by any means, but I haven't used them on wood before, and so that's what we're going to do. And I want to be able to go around corners and stuff, so I'm going to leave them just with the without mounting them. I can always mount them on the thicker foam later if I want to. Anytime you're going to try and cut something out like this, just like I was showing you, what was I doing? I don't know, something. It was either here, it was in the, for the website, for HowToGetCreative.com. I don't remember which place, but I was talking about how important it is to, it was one of the cards that we did, a couple weeks ago. Get rid of the excess stuff when you're going to cut out something that's detailed. You know, don't make it harder on yourself by having to deal with all that extra cardstock or the extra foam or whatever. You know, don't make it harder on yourself. Make it as easy as you can. So just get rid of all the excess stuff. So, okay, what else? Maybe what we'll do is, because it's going to take me a hot second to cut these out, maybe we'll do some icebreaker cards, huh? Hi, Kel. If you run the stencil on the foam through a die cut machine, it will leave an impression to cut out much easier. That's a good idea. Barb, could you use pixie spray and put on the acrylic block? Keep your hands clean. Possibility. Hey, Beth. Okay, so here we go. Pizza or pasta? These are just things, they're just fun conversation starters. So pizza or pasta? I think my answer would have varied from time to time, but I think currently it would be pizza. When our son was a swimmer in high school, I've never been so tired of pasta. Oh man, he ate so much pasta. You know, anytime you've got somebody in competitive sports like that, man, they will load on the carbs. The bad part about that is that if you're the one that's doing the cooking, and you're having to, unless you want to make two different meals, you're going to eat the same thing they're eating. Unfortunately, you're not getting rid of the same number of calories that they are. Yeah, so while one person is expending calories, the other person is just packing them right in there. Yeah, not good. Not good. I'm not going to be too picky about this because this is just to kind of give me the idea of where the leaves are going to be, and then I'm going to go back, I think, and paint over them. So this is kind of functioning as a pattern without having to trace them onto the wood and do all that stuff. It's just a different way to do it. For everything that you do, there's about a million different ways to do something, And people ask me all the time, can you do this? Can you do that? In the comments after a video. And it's like, I know this is a shock, but there's times when I haven't tried every single thing or way there is to try something. So sometimes my answer is, and I'm sure it comes off as sounding a little bit on the smart aleck side, which I don't mean for it to. I'm sure it sounds that way. Sometimes I say, you just give it a try and see what you think and let me know how it works out, and I don't mean for it to sound like a smart aleck answer, but maybe it does come across that way sometimes. I think sometimes people are afraid to try things. I think they're afraid to experiment. They want to know ahead of time if the thing that they're thinking about is going to work. And there's only one way to know that, and that is to just, not be invested in the outcome, but just try it and see what happens. Okay, so pasta or pizza, you guys. I'm going to check the reason I do these icebreaker cards is because I'm having to look at what I'm doing. I can't watch the chat so much, so I'm going to stop and see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Pizza. Okay, so we got pizza, pasta, pizza, pasta. Son says pizza. See, you guys, every time I ask you guys a question, it always pretty much splits right down the middle. Isn't that funny? Lots of pizzas. What's your favorite kind of pizza? Those of you that like pizza, what's your favorite kind? Your favorite toppings? There's a place here. It's a local pizza place. Unfortunately, it's really close to my house. Really close. And they have what they call a pizza lover's passion. And so you get 5 toppings for the price of 4. Like that's some big deal, but maybe it is. I don't know. Anyway, I always order the same toppings. I like Canadian bacon really well. And I like vegetables. I like a lot of the vegetables. I'm not much of a fruit person on pizza, like pineapple. I'm not real crazy about that. It's okay, but it's not my very favorite. Those pizzas that they make at this place are pretty pricey. And one time, it was the first time that my daughter-in-law was here. It was before they got married, and my son knows this pizza place because he was raised here. This pizza place has been in existence for a long time. And so he went to get this pizza, and they got the big one they loaded it with ingredients, and it was expensive. The pizza was like, I don't know, it was over $30. It was probably like $37 or something. I mean, it was expensive pizza. It was a very expensive pizza that day. And my daughter-in-law about had a cow. She says, "Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. It's way too much." And my son says, "Just wait till you taste it." she found out very quickly that she thought that was the best pizza she'd ever had. So the next time he was here by himself, the last thing he did before he went home was he went and ordered a pizza, and he brought it home, and we got it cooled off enough that we could get it packaged. And he took that pizza, that same big giant pizza that he'd ordered before, same ingredients, and he repackaged it and hand carried it in his suitcase back to LA. because Izzy had requested pizza, the expensive pizza, because she finally got it. And it's like, yeah, I know it's expensive, but it's good pizza. Yeah, I'm not crazy about pineapple on, or fruit on pizza. I'm really not. House special, except no anchovies. Nanette likes Hawaiian. That has pineapple on it, right? Ham, green pepper, and onion. That sounds good. Pepperoni and mushroom. That's kind of a classic. Pepperoni and mushroom. Hi, Barbphilian. She likes a loaded one. Rhonda likes Hawaiian, but no meat. Okay. It's really funny to see everybody's preferences, isn't it? Oops, my computer's about to die. I gotta get it plugged in or I'm gonna lose all the comments. Terrible. It's terrible to let that happen. Thai. What's on this pizza? Ferry Station, New York. Ferry to Staten Island in 1972. The smell was horrible. So she didn't like pizza for years, Signa says. I bet. So some of you do like pineapple on pizza. Interesting. Yeah, it doesn't appeal to me. The fruit on a pizza doesn't appeal to me. Okay, so we have these two ready to go. I'm going to cut out one more just in case I need it. Because you know what? You have to have choices, people. You have to have choices. All right, let's do the next one. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So, what's your favorite meal? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? And do you like breakfast, lunch, or dinner, your favorite meal, at the prescribed time? Or do you prefer to have breakfast for dinner, or something like that? I like breakfast pretty much any time. Most of the time, one of the things that's been a real challenge the last month with, because I've been on, much to my dismay, I was on 2 rounds of antibiotics for this ear thing, and the second round, you were supposed to take them with food, and I'm like, ugh, and they had to be, 12 hours apart. So what that meant was I had to get up, and the first thing I had to do, the first thing in the day, was to go immediately to my kitchen and make some kind of food. And I'm like, oh, God, that is just not my preference. Some people wake up thinking about what to have first thing in the morning. I'm not one of those people. I prefer to just not eat until at least 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. That's when I'm ready to eat. And my preference is to eat, a couple of meals a day, and that's pretty much it. But let me tell you, when you got to start out at 7 or 7:30 fixing food, I'm starving to death then by 10:30. That's one of the reasons I don't eat so early in the morning, because it starts my appetite cranking so early, and then I'm like, I can't, my body doesn't know what it wants to do, but I would much rather I really like having breakfast any time of the day. One of the things that Clausman loved, he loved going to this restaurant. I'm sure a lot of you know it, recognize it. It's Cracker Barrel, and we have one here in our town. I haven't been there in quite a while now, but he loved going to Cracker Barrel because they had biscuits. Now, I'm sure that these biscuits are like the worst thing in the world, probably for your body. And so we didn't go there very often. But as Clausman was descending into the world of his own, he couldn't regulate his appetite. He didn't really know when he was hungry or not hungry. He'd lost all that ability to recognize those things, but he knew that he loved those biscuits. And about the last time I took him there to Cracker Barrel, because they bring unlimited biscuits to you, okay? And I was sending texts and pictures to Race in California about taking his dad to Cracker Barrel. And I was counting the biscuits that he was eating. And I was so afraid he was going to overeat that day, because it was biscuits and jelly, biscuits and gravy, plus the other stuff that he ate. And he didn't have a really great appetite, and he didn't really know when he was hungry. And he was kind of like, if I'd prime the pump, I'd get him started to eat, then he'd go ahead and eat. Well, let me just tell you, he ate 2 biscuits, and then he ate 3 biscuits, and then he went for the 4th biscuit, and then he asked the waitress for more biscuits. I'm not going to ask for more biscuits because I'm kind of hoping he's going to slow down, right? Also, I'm also in the mindset of it really doesn't make any difference, because I knew at that point, we were facing, I of course had no idea how long or short his life was going to be, but I knew that we were at the latter part of his life. And so it really didn't make a whole lot of difference, but I just, didn't want him to make himself sick on biscuits. Anyway, so I'm sending messages to our son, to Race, and I'm saying, he's now had 5 biscuits. And Race is responding with, "Oh, wow." And then I said, and he's on his 6th biscuit. And he's like, "Oh, man, Mom, I don't know. Maybe do you need to slow him down?" It's like an impossible task, Impossible. He's going to eat until he's done, I think. The man ate that day 8 biscuits. 8 Cracker Barrel biscuits, which are pretty good size, mind you. 8. My body couldn't have held 8 Cracker Barrel biscuits. I'm just here to tell you. Couldn't have done it. He enjoyed every single moment. And they would bring you jelly in these little containers, the little jelly things, individual things. I think I finally found all the packets of jelly that he had stashed, because he would load up his pockets with jelly and bring them home. And a lot of times prior to him getting, the last part of his journey, prior to that, he'd bring them home and he'd put them in the refrigerator. So he'd have them, because I mean, there was usually jelly or honey here, both, but I guess there was something about those little containers that he thought was really cool. I found them in his pockets, in his coat, and his sweatshirt pockets. Fortunately, none of them exploded. Anyway, Dealing with someone with dementia is its own adventure, let me tell you. Okay, let's see. Andrea says she loves those little jellies. Cat head biscuits. I don't know what that is, Beth. Cat head biscuits. Wow. Breakfast anytime. Some people like supper. Rhonda likes lunch at 3, the only meal of the day. Wow. You get by on one meal a day? Wow. Pancake Sunday suppers. You know what my parents liked on Sunday for supper? They liked tomato soup and popcorn. Tomato soup and popcorn. And I must say, it was a pretty good combination. Tomato soup and popcorn. Yes. Scott loves breakfast. Supper at 8 p.m. It's interesting to see how everybody likes stuff. Cracker Barrel biscuits are 3 to 4 inches across. They're pretty good size. They really are. Bye, Cigna. You've been in and out a lot. Okay, Mary. No problem. Weird combo. CB says that's a weird combo. Tomato soup and grilled cheese. Yeah, that's a good combo. I know wheat. But tomato soup and popcorn's kind of odd, you know. Another Sunday supper at Grandma's was fried cow's liver and waffles. Oh, Becky. Ugh. Was that good? It sounds awful. Ugh. Liver and waffles. Ugh. One of my friends, I like lentils. I make a really good lentil stew. Lentils, if you don't know, are a dried vegetable. Dried, I don't know if they're in the pea or the bean family, but anyway, I really like them. And I like lentil stew. It was a Weight Watcher recipe from way long time ago. I was telling one of my friends one time about this lentil stew because we were talking about, you know, good filling recipes and so forth. And I thought she was going to hurl right on the phone. Her mother used to make liver and lentils. And I thought, oh, no wonder she hates them. Oh my gosh. Hi, Sherry. It's yuck now. Oh, yeah. Wow. You still like the waffles? Cat head biscuits, yummy. Hey, Nancy. Cigna, have a great weekend. Okay, let's see if we can, we'll do another icebreaker here in a minute once I get to where I'm doing something that doesn't require much thought. Okay, so let's look at, let's go back here. I'm just trying to figure out which is the best shot for you guys to see. I think this is probably it. Okay, so this is the side of this wooden crate with tissue paper on it. And so we're gonna, another thing that's nice about these is because they're so flexible, you can, you know, bend them around and so forth. So let's try just positioning these kind of on this. All right, we'll go with that and we'll just kind of see how it goes. I kind of like them when they run off the edge. All right, so we'll kind of go from there and see what happens. What do you think? Hey, Tam. What do you think? I need to get a paper palette here. Just a second. Alright, so what I have is palette paper. That's what this is right here. So we're going to get a new piece. Becky says she grew up eating all sorts of weird stuff, and then she found her own taste buds. It's good. It's good that you found your own taste buds, Becky. Oh my goodness, it's good that you found your own taste bud. Because that was some weird liver and waffles. Oh boy. I think chicken and waffles sounds weird, but liver and waffles? Oh. Oh no. All right, I gotta find, what did I do with my sponges? Oh, yeah, I don't know where the sponges are. Maybe here. No. Okay, well, we're gonna grab, because I don't know where my makeup sponges are. I don't know what I did with them. They're somewhere. So we're gonna use a Tim Holtz thing because, yeah. Because that's what we're going to use to apply the pink. See how this goes. Okay? All right. Back to the disc. We're going to use this one, which is Key West. It's an apple barrel. I bought a whole set of these. I was going to go do that class out in New Hampshire, and I was looking for a set of a good variety of colors of acrylic paint, and so Amazon had a set of these, which is why I have the whole set, and it was like 16 colors, and it was a good price for a set of 16 acrylic paints, and the colors were nice. So that's how I happen to have a bunch of these. Tripe. Oh no, no. That's true, Becky. My parents were like that too. My parents were like that also. Okay, so we're just going to put some paint out here and we'll see what happens, shall we? Alright, so I'm going to put this down on my... I'm going to get enough paint that I can stamp it before it dries. Okay, so hopefully we can get this stamped. All right, let's see what happens, shall we? Let's see what happens. Now, if I can remember kind of where I had it positioned. It doesn't have to be exactly where it was, but kind of, sort of. Yeah, it gives me kind of the idea. What I'm going to do is get a chalk pencil. I'll be right back. All right. Just so that I kind of get that I know where it is. What I'm after is the leaves that I kind of lost because I didn't stamp it very well. Okay, this one. Okay, good enough. I know where the rest of them are. Okay, that's good enough. All right. So let's go for the next one and see what happens. We'll see if we can do a better job this time. Because I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint where I've stamped. This is just to get me going. kind of like a pattern, sort of, kind of. See if we can give it a little more time, because the surface is bumpy from the tissue paper, so it doesn't want to make, that's a better impression. Much better, Bob, much better. And then I'm going to extend this stem here. Okay, and then let's do this one. Okay, I'll give you another icebreaker while I'm doing this, and then I'll paint these. Going to the movies or watching at home? So going to the movies or watching at home. I prefer to watch at home. Although I do have to admit I like movie popcorn. And I very seldom ever have it. But that would be my reason for going to the movies, would be to get movie popcorn. So what do you say? I mean, with Netflix and all that stuff today, it's kind of easy to stay home. Okay, here we go. Let's see what we got. Not too bad. Just making sure that I can see it in the computer better than I can see it in real life, as they say. And this is just a pastel chalk pencil. Okay, not bad, not bad. Orville Redenbacher. There you go, movies. Wow, when last time Becky went, it was just Becky and her son and one other lady. What did Kelly do? Movie theater has recliners, seats that heat up. Oh man, I would just go to sleep. That's all. I would just flat go to sleep if that was the case. If our theater had seats like that, I would just go to sleep. Okay, I'm just putting a little bit more, some paint on this one. And I'm just going to add a little tiny bit right here. There we go. Okay. Now, as these get more acrylic paint on them and it dries, they're going to stiffen up a little bit. So that's the nature of that. All right, this is going to go here, just so I kind of have it to look at. Okay, good enough. All right, let's paint these and see what we think, huh? I got to get a paintbrush. That would help. All right, let's go. Looking at my paintbrush options. Okay. We're going to have to investigate. I found that one. But we're going to have to investigate what paintbrush options we have here. Maybe this one. And I'll get a smaller one just because I don't know. I like bigger paintbrushes. Okay, I need to get some water, you guys. I will be right back. My laptop keeps wanting me to do stuff. I'll be right back. I don't know where Chance went. He disappeared. He went somewhere on his own. Cost of a movie ticket. I haven't been to a movie in so long. I don't know what it costs anymore. How terrible is that? They're the same foam. The yellow and the brown, but it's probably the way I'm applying the paint. Yeah, it's probably what it is. Okay, so we're going to put some paint out on the palette, and I'm going to have some water at the ready. Okay, so I got water here, and I just put some more paint out, and so we're just going to go for it. Need some paper towels. Now, the surface is coated in matte medium, so it's somewhat sealed. But we're just going to go for it and see what happens. All right. Yeah, I probably should start at the other end, but you know. I probably will just kind of skip around on this painting part. This is where I started the stamping, and so it's where the paint is the driest. I may have to add a couple of coats of this paint, or I may just do one coat and then just let it be kind of sketchy, because I kind of like the sketchy quality of things. Kind of enjoy that sketchy quality. Now, acrylic paint is a funny paint. If you try to put too much paint on your surface, it has a place where it will let you put paint, and then it will, the next stroke that you add, whether it's artist grade paint or craft grade paint, it will lift the paint. So you have to be a little bit careful about how you're going about this process. But I like this color combo, so we're going to just kind of see how it goes here. And you need to make the painting work for you. So if you need to turn it so that it's more comfortable for your hand, then that's what you need to do, you know? All right, we'll get out another card here in just a second. I thought about doing these in black as a silhouette kind of thing. And then I thought, nah, I really like the color combination of orange, like red and orange and turquoise or aqua a lot. So yeah. So I opted to scrap the idea of a black silhouette kind of thing and go for color. And you kind of, when you're doing something like this and you're making it up as you go along, you just kind of let it happen. Just let it happen and see how the process develops. It's a junk piece of wood that was going to go to the garbage. And so I've lost nothing. If I paint the whole thing and go, oh, I can't stand it, which I don't think that's going to be the way it rolls, but if it does, it's like, oh well. Too bad, so sad. Okay, let me do one more leaf and then we'll get another card. And every once in a while, you need to stop and just wash the paintbrush out, or really squeeze all the paint out. Some people never put their paintbrush in water with acrylic paint once they start painting. They will never put it in water until they're completely finished. I'm kind of the opinion that do what works. In fact, that's my opinion about most everything, If it doesn't work for you, then you learn and you go, I don't like that, and so you don't do it the next time, right? As I said earlier, if you don't follow me on Instagram or Twitter, it would be really good if you did, because if something changes with my streaming schedule, like it did on Monday, that's where I will announce it. Okay? All right. Hi, Trish. Okay, so what I did was just wipe the paint out. I didn't put it, I didn't actually get it in the water. Okay, let's do another icebreaker. Hi, Martha. It is a crate. It's actually a crate, a wooden crate. Okay, do you like to listen to music or podcasts? Music or podcast? I have to say that is a clear toss-up for me because I love both. I love to listen to both. Oh, you guys, I about had a heart attack today. I'm not kidding you. I thought I'd lost my AirPods. Like, I could not find them. They were hiding in my very own purse, but I didn't realize it. Huh. I am so used to those. Never thought I would use them. Never thought I needed them. My granddaughter gave them to me for Christmas several years ago. Boy, have I loved having those. I still have to use the wired ones occasionally because when the charge in the AirPods runs down, if you want to use If you want to be able to listen without everybody in the world listening to what you're listening to, you still have to have the wired headphones, earphones. Anyway, I found them. They were in my purse, hiding. I'm like, really? Seriously? I was so grateful when I found them. I was so grateful. Okay, so we got one more on this side. Now, could I have painted these without doing this thing with the masks and turning them into stamps and all that stuff? Yeah, of course. But, you know, sometimes it's just fun to just do something different, show people a different way to achieve something. Some people wouldn't have the confidence to just start painting leaves on something. So why not explore a different way to do it? Yeah, why not? All right, let's see. All right, this one, we're going to just kind of come here. I do like, I didn't think I would ever get used to painting with these angled brushes, you know, where they're angled across the end, but I really like these. I started painting with these back when I was painting so many of Clausman's Santa figures, and I really like them a lot. So the question was music or podcasts. Yeah, if you don't listen to podcasts, there are some amazing podcasts out there. And pretty much you can find a podcast on any subject that you are interested in. If it's true crime, which is one of my personal favorites for podcasts, I don't know why. I have no idea why, but that is one of the subjects I like for podcasts. All right, we're going to just move the water out of the way. So, you know, illegal fluids on the table with electronics is never good. Never good. Even if you need the water, it's still never good. Because you never know when said cat might come from nowhere and bounce up on the table and make water go everywhere, because I've had that happen before. And coffee. Because he's that kind of cat. He's just that kind of cat. Yeah, Race told me when we had got this whole thing set up, he said, now you've got to keep all the wet stuff off the table. And it's like, you do realize what I do, right? You do know what I do. He says, you're going to have to find a way around that. And I'm like, he said, you'll be sorry if you don't. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to be sorry. Okay. So there's that. So we have this one, this stalk of leaves. Yeah. Okay, then once this is really, really, really dry, I'm going to come back and I'm going to detail it using paint pens. Okay? Hi, Kimberly. Books on tape. Barbara liked books on tape. Audiobooks. Hi, Sylvia. Music and live whenever possible. Hey, Rosemary Morris. Good to see you. Hello, hello. What are you working on these days, Miss Rosemary? I've lost track of what you're doing. What's your current project that you're working on. In case you don't follow Rosemary Morris, she does, at least last I knew, she was doing kits, pardon me, for journals of using specific subjects. I may have lost the plot, however. Who are your favorite, if you like music on, to listen to music on your phone or whatever, iPad, computer, who are your favorite artists to listen to? It always surprises me what some people listen to. I was listening to somebody the other day, I can't remember who it was now, and I was very surprised when the answer was their favorite kind of music was heavy metal, and I'm like, really? Because that was just a shock to me, because it was somebody that was about my age, and I'm like, really? Wow. Didn't see that coming. Didn't see that coming at all. That's not my preferred music, but then I was a classically trained musician in college. So my I never did listen to heavy metal because I didn't have time for that. I only had time for Mozart and Chopin and Beethoven and Bach and Debussy and Ravel and Haydn and all the guys. Yeah, all the guys. Those were my... That was my... That was my genre. And I have a lot of those composers in my phone to listen to on playlists. And I do like a lot of praise music and Casting Crowns and Ellie Holcomb and Laura Story and a lot of those artists also, groups. Okay, let me stop and see what you guys are talking about. April will be a small doll. Oh, interesting, Rosemary. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for being here, Kathy. I am not familiar with those, Purple Nana. Linda Patrick likes to listen to jazz and easy listening. You know, jazz was never my thing unless I was playing it. I was in a jazz group. When I was in high school, we had a jazz band, and I loved playing it. Man, I didn't like to listen to it, but I sure loved playing it. So I was the piano part of the jazz band. Of course, that was back in the dark ages, you guys. But I loved playing it. I sure loved playing it. I'm not one to listen to it, though. It's so great that there are so many kinds of music, you know? That way we all can, we all get to find that which appeals to us. I do like Blue Man Group, though. I don't think they're considered jazz, however, but I do like the Blue Man Group. Playing on pipes and kettles and all kinds of weird things that aren't supposed to be instruments. the things that they can do. Well, hello, Miss Muppet. Hello. Well, look who came to grace us with her presence. Look who came to grace us with her presence. I know. Yes. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi, sweet baby. Hi, sweet girl. Hi. Did you miss me and had to come see if I was okay? I know, right? You're such a good girl. Such a good girl. This is Muppet, if you guys are not familiar with her. She is 14, soon to be 15 years old, you guys. Yes, she's such a good girl. Can't hear a thing. Yeah, can't hear a thing. But she's such a good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes, you're a good girl, aren't you? Yeah. Doesn't she look like she could be Freddie's little sister? Janet Nash's Freddie. She's such a good girl. Now she's got to go sneeze for a while because that's what she does. She has to go sneeze. So interesting to read all the different things that people like. Barbara Clark likes Earth chants and Goddess chants. No rap, no heavy metal, no mountain hillbilly whiny songs, Kelly says. Linda likes bagpipe music too. She's such a good girl. She really is. You guys know the story of Muppet, I'm sure. She came to live here as a rescue. She is a combination of very active breeds of dog, several dogs, Blue Heeler and Border Collie, and very active breeds. And so I think she was probably gotten for a family at Christmas, the year that they got her. And they could not handle her level of activity at all. The family could not handle her, and so they surrendered her to one of the societies, Humane Society. She was abused along the way, and we of course don't know if the abuse happened in her first or her second family, because we were her third family, and we got her when she was 8 months old. She was surrendered the second time to an animal rescue, a no-kill animal rescue, fortunately. And that's where we got her. But like I said, we were the third place that had taken her home. So she was not in the greatest of, she was not in very good shape when we got her. If you got out a broom or a shovel or a rake, she would run and hide under something. Like we had a garden cart, and she would run and hide under that. It was sad. But you can't feel sorry for them, because that doesn't help them. And so you got to feel sorry somewhere, but besides being around them, you got to just and you don't reinforce the fear factor. You know, we would just call her and she would come out. And so then we would work with her on looking at the whatever it was that she was scared of, the rake or the shovel or the broom, and we would just show her that it was okay, and she would look at it very, very skeptically. Oh, she was so skeptical of all of that. And so it took her, I think she's still wary of things with long handles, but I'm pretty sure she was abused with some sort of long-handled object, and she still hates the UPS trucks. And if a UPS driver makes a delivery to my house and brings it to the front porch, and she happens to be out with me, or she sees them driving down the street, she will still get very upset about that. So I'm guessing, just a wild guess, but I'm guessing that the abuse happened with someone who might have been a UPS driver, because she doesn't react to FedEx trucks. She doesn't react to the post office trucks or their employees, but she definitely reacts to UPS drivers. She does not like brown, okay? She does not like brown. If you wear a brown uniform, she is not going to be your friend. She is quite an interesting puppy in that regard. She had so much energy when we got her. She was about 8 months old. So understand that in 8 months, she had been adopted and surrendered twice. And so when she came to live with us, she was a great challenge. So much energy that dog had. And we walked, she and I walked, because that was part of how we trained her, is using the walk. She had to walk at my side on a leash, not pulling. I didn't think I would ever get that dog to stop pulling at the end of the leash. It was years of walking her to finally get her to stop pulling at the end of the leash. We bought a vest for her, a special dog vest that had zip pockets on the sides. And we put a pound of dried beans in each side of the vest. And so she would, because that way she had enough weight on her that she interpreted that as a job, that, she would put her vest on and she was like she had a job. And so she took that job very seriously. She carried her 2 pounds of beans. And then when she got strong enough, we turned her into a darn athlete. When she got strong enough, then we had to put water bottles in the pockets along with the beans. So her vest was like this wide, because she had to have extra weight because she was getting stronger and stronger. And I'm like, whew. And then, she still had too much energy. And so Claus Man built a thing that attached to the rear axle of the bicycle. It was a spring with it was a bracket with a spring, and then a clip, carabiner. And so we would attach that to a harness that she had on, so she was pulling from her chest, not her neck, pulling from her chest. And then he'd ride the bicycle with her, and she'd run beside, but it was on the back wheel so that she never could dump him. Oh, man. And she could pull him for several blocks. Before she'd get tired. And you're like, wow, this is a dog with energy. This is a dog with lots of energy. I agree, Joan. I agree. Okay, so we have 2 sections of leaves painted. And so I'm going to go ahead and paint these as well. This actually would not be bad to leave it, with just kind of this sketchy look. But, I decided I didn't want to do that. So we're just going to paint them, We're just going to paint them and then do some sketchy whatever with some paint pens and so forth. But Miss Muppet she was a handful when she came here to live. She's been here quite a long time now. She got me in trouble with animal control because she couldn't keep her mouth shut. She thought she was the boss of the neighborhood. And she barked so much when she was outside And I didn't realize she was barking that much. You know, you know how you just kind of tune it out sometimes, and that's what I did. I tuned it out, and I shouldn't have done that. And somebody turned us into animal control because she was barking too much. And they came to explain the facts of life to me one afternoon, and we had 2 dogs at the time. They were both out in the backyard, and the animal control person came to the door, and it happened to be a woman, and she said, well, we've had a complaint from one of your neighbors about your dogs barking. And I looked at her. I couldn't even believe it. I looked at her and I said, about what? And she said, yeah, we've had a complaint about your dog barking. And I said, my dogs are outside right now. I said, they are very protective, you know, and suspicious of strangers. I said, do you hear them? And she said, no. And I said, well, they're out in the backyard. I said, do you want to see them? And I said, I can't imagine. I said, who complained? And she said, well, we can't tell you that. And I'm like, well, that's special, isn't it? That you can't tell me who's complaining about my dog barking, but you're going to come and, anyway. She pointed to the backyard and she said, well, it was someone behind you. And I thought, well, that limits that because there's only 3 people whose yards touch the back of my house. So pretty much narrows it down. Anyway. So we had to then take on a very different approach with her about being in the backyard and not letting her bark and never leaving her outside by herself. You know, she just thought she was the queen of the neighborhood. She thought it was her job to take care of everybody, you know. That's just what she thought. So that's true. They bitch and complain about anything, don't they? Some people do. Anyway, so she doesn't bark much now, but she doesn't like to be outside very long. She much prefers to be inside. And she's a very good companion. She was just an outstanding watchdog. Oh my goodness, that dog was great as a watchdog. She did not bark in the house unless she sensed that something was really, really dangerous, and you could trust her judgment about if anybody came to the door and the hair stood up on the back of her, you know, back or neck, you knew not to let that person, you know, anywhere around. And she was a very good judge of people. And if somebody came to the door that, you know, was fine, she would wag, and, you know, you could just always trust her instinct about people. And there was a guy one time that came, he wanted to rake our leaves. You know, he was just going door to door and he wanted to rake leaves, so he said. And I was inside with Muppet, and I had the inner door open. The storm door was closed, but the inside door was open so she could look out. It was a glass storm door, so she was looking out. And she started that low guttural growl, and I thought, golly, what is that about? And Clausman was outside, and he, you know, was talking to the guy about what it would cost to rake the leaves, because I have two trees, and they put down so many leaves, people. Oh, goodness. Anyway, and the closer that guy got to the house, the more she was growling, but it was just that low guttural warning growl. She wasn't having that. She wasn't having that guy anywhere close to her people, not even for 1 second. And she let me know. And then when Clausman came in the house, I said, I don't care who that is. I don't care what kind of a deal he offered you. He cannot be on the place. And he said, well, why not? And I said, because Muppet has let me know that in no uncertain terms, that guy is bad news. And he goes, good enough. And that was the end of that. So now she doesn't hear. So now her ability to be a great watchdog is a little bit more, a little bit less reliable, shall we say. She's still a very good girl, though. A very sweet puppy. Your 3 dogs bark when they're in the back garden, too? Well, see, there you go. Hey, Dana. Okay, let's do another one, shall we? Oh, here you go. TV or social media. That ought to be an interesting one. TV or social media. I have to say I prefer TV. And I know some people are going to much prefer social media. It's just not I just prefer not to spend that much time on social media. What kind of dogs do you have, Joan? Muppet is Heinz 57. She would be interesting to run DNA on her to find out for sure what her combo platter is. We know just by looking at her that she has the face and the chin of a blue heeler, and she has some of the coloration of some kinds of border collies, border collie, border terrier. Anyway, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Border collie, right? I think so. Anyway, doesn't matter. TV or social media, or neither. Some people may go, neither one. You know, some people love Facebook. I don't, so I don't use it. I don't go on it. If anybody tries to send me messages on Facebook, I never see them. Because I don't go there. I know how Facebook functions. I know the behind the scenes stuff, and I don't like it, so I stay away from it. I also know that Facebook owns Instagram, and you know, you can be upset about any of the social media things. I get it. We all have our things that turn our cranks, you know? We all have those things. And just because one of us doesn't like one thing doesn't mean it's wrong for everybody. You know, it's preferences. It is preferences. Some people love Facebook, and they totally enjoy the socialization aspect of it. Some people love TikTok. I have to tell you, I've never ever watched a TikTok video ever. Some people absolutely love it, you know? I do like Instagram because I've got mine trained well enough that it shows me what I want to see, and that I appreciate. So I see art, images, and I see a lot of positive messages, because I like that. And what else? I follow a number of accounts on several accounts that have Down syndrome, children with Down syndrome. And mostly positive messaging. So I've got it trained to show me what I want to see. Okay, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Martha doesn't like Twitter. Lots of people don't. YouTube, I do love YouTube. I have to say that. Yeah, I do love YouTube. Yeah, isn't it funny how we all have the different things that we enjoy or don't, you know? Okay, so I'm going to finish painting this little set of leaves here. Clearly, I'm going to be spending some time this weekend painting leaves. For a free box, I'm certainly going to spend my time on it, huh? For a free wooden thing. Sometimes you just need to have something that is just kind of doesn't require a lot of concentration, you know. I can put a podcast on in the background or music or YouTube videos, and I can sit here and paint leaves. I can do this for hours and enjoy this. I do like the color combination, though. I do have to say, I do like that. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend this weekend. Or if you're watching some other point in time, I hope that you're experiencing an enjoyable time in your life. And if you're not, I hope that somehow stumbling onto this little corner of the world will give you something else to think about and maybe give you the courage to get out your paintbrushes, or if you've never painted, maybe you can buy a set of inexpensive paintbrushes and some craft grade paint and just play. You never have to show it to anybody. You never have to use it for anything. You can enjoy the practice of doing something just to do it. You know, I have people all the time ask me, well, what are you going to do with that, whatever it is? It's like, I don't have to do anything with it. I have plenty of things. I have boxes of things that I've never done a thing with. Sometimes it's because I keep them for samples for other classes or stream ideas or, you know, different things like that. Sometimes I keep them, sometimes I do things 100% for the creative outlet. Creativity is a very healing aspect of life. And if you have gone through difficulties in your life or a difficult season in your life, which, you know, we all do, As much as we would like life to be smooth sailing all the time, folks, it just isn't. I know this is gonna shock some of you. It's gonna shock some of you when you hear me say that. But sometimes you just go through a rough patch. The trick is to keep going and not get stuck in the rough patch. Just don't get stuck there. Don't worry about the rough moment, the rough time. Don't get stuck there. It came to pass. It didn't come to stay. It came to pass. Okay, so we have the leaves at this point, and I'm liking it. I'm liking it. What do you guys think? You like it? Okay, I think that we're going to stop there for now for this point in time. So there's what you can look at. I may add another little bit here. It's hard to say. For now, it's the way it is. It's good enough. It is cheerful, isn't it? Yeah. And I do like having the leaves on it as opposed to just the tissue paper. Although the tissue paper was just fine, the way it was. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how much I get done before Monday. And I don't think I have anything. I looked on the calendar before I started with you guys. I don't think I have anything going on Monday night. I'm amazing. Peggy says I'm amazing. Well, that was very kind of you, but I'm not sure that I can agree with that. But that was nice. All right. Well, we made it through some more icebreaker cards. I think these cards are fun. I really think they're fun because it helps everybody kind of get acquainted a little bit more. Gives us something to chat about too. All right. Thanks, Carol. You too. All right. I will be back on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time is the plan. And if not, if for some reason I can't do that, I will post on Twitter and Instagram. Okay, so follow me one place or the other. It'd be the best thing. Okay. Thanks for being here, everybody. I hope you have a great weekend, great week, whenever you're watching. And think about what you can do for somebody else. Maybe it's send a card. Maybe it's call somebody up. Maybe it's send them a text. Maybe it's go out for lunch with somebody or dinner, or a cup of coffee. Just, find something that you can do to lift up and encourage somebody else. Because the secret is you're doing that for somebody else and it helps you too. Yeah, really does. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you for today. Thanks for being here, everybody. Remember to get creative today because it's easy. And I will see you before you know it. So everybody have a good rest of your day or evening, and I will see you soon. Bye for now.